What's going on? How we doing? Yeah, I'm gonna get into it. This is a respond video to Daylyt. For those who don't know who Daylyt is, he is a battle rapper and also a conscious thinker. And yeah, he's on Vladtv right now, and I already seen the outfit he got on. It's a little interesting, you know. Um, but yeah, this is Leven. Subscribe to the channel. It'll be posted on Facebook. It'll be posted on Instagram. It'll be posted on YouTube. So for the YouTube heads, subscribe, comment, share. Same for Instagram, Facebook. Make sure you like, share, etc. All that good stuff. Yeah, no time wasting. Let's get into it. Okay, so this is part one. Yeah, part one of. Yo, I think this guy's a genius. He's a genius. The fact that he's a wordsmith and he's actually proven himself and he's a conscious thinker, I just think the combination of that works, you know. Like, if he wasn't good or dope at what he does, then you probably call him crazy, right? But he's really, really, really good at what he does. Like, really good. So because he's really good, you know, you're kind of like, right, okay, what do you have to say? You know, if Michael Jackson wasn't Michael Jackson, you wouldn't really hear what he has to say, you know what I mean? So it's like, regardless of what your mind has to offer, your talent says another, you know, it's kind of like the opening door. So yeah, man, let's get into it. Oh, okay, cool, let's go.
All right, here we go.
He
For the
checked his
first time on
watch.
Vladtv, we have Daylyt's white half brother. Yeah, Bradley. Yeah. How you doing, Bradley? Nice to meet
Okay,
you.
let me stop it there. Okay. Daylyt is black. Okay, he just has that on. Okay. Now there's this whole controversy thing that I've actually been seeing for quite some time, and what it comes down to is when, you know, like for example, I have this thing where when black comedians, you know, talk about white people, they don't hold back. They really go at it. And sometimes I'm like, oh my God, that's straight up. Like, you have to say it like that? But if a white comedian was to say the same thing towards a black person, it'll be a, you know, crazy switch. So that's just like a consciousness that's going on within humanity, and we're just kind of like going along with things like everything is cool. Find that weird and awkward, you know. There should be an equal term aspect towards it. Now, he just has the full half. You can clearly see that it's not it's not complete. You know what I mean? The fact that he still has his hand, you could clearly see that there's a whole, you know, there's an art behind this. Okay, I promise you that. There has to be. What's with the hair, dude? Got the, why he's okay? Cool. I see it. What's his name? Bradley. All right. But yeah. So the only way that he can really come at this is if there's information. You know, if there's information behind what he's doing, then it makes sense. If this is just, you know, taking the piss or just, you know, just doing it for the sake of doing it, then obviously that might bring up a whole, you know, another sense of discussion. But yeah, let's move forward.
Thank you for coming. We've had your brother Daylyt on here quite a number of times.
Love that character. Oh, it's amazing.
This is the first time we've had. I didn't know he had a white half brother actually.
Yeah, back in the days, I guess his last name is Campbell. What did you think? He's clearly like the product of a slave.
Alrighty then. Alrighty, same mother, same father?
No.
Neither. Okay. I like the hair.
Well, thank you.
Oh.
Got it at Supercuts. Supercuts.
Supercut.
Yeah,
He's funny,
I
man.
haven't seen any black people with supercuts.
it's because I'm not black.
Right.
Paid about $6 million for this. You see, I did the edges.
Look at the flick of their hair. That's what that is. Look at the flick. It's the side look. It's the side look.
He's like a cool character and everything, but like when you really think about it, like he didn't go down the path that the rest of the family.
Interesting. So he's saying Daylyt is the character, because obviously Daylyt is the character that's playing Bradley, who's his white half brother, right? So as he's this character, Bradley, he's referring to Daylyt as a cool character. But that's, the base of his character, I guess. Well, there's an inner base, and that's, his original self, and then Daylyt, and then... Interesting. I see how he's piecing it together, I see it.
We went to like high expensive schools. Like my grandparents, they went to Harvard, and I went to Harvard too, graduated, and he didn't. No.
Daydream.
Education. Telecommunication.
Okay.
It's not serious.
You don't have any face tattoos, Daylyt.
No, why would I do such a thing? You'll never get a job.
No.
Rapper. He's gonna be a rapper forever.
Right.
That's it. No.
Right. It sounds
Oh, I just realized, dude, ain't got his...
Like him and
Obviously,
his
but...
Drake and them.
Right. 'Cause you
What
clearly
did he
have
say?
more
What
money
did he
than
say? I was talking there.
Right. A SoundCloud rap.
It's a SoundCloud rapper. Like him and his friends, like Drake and them.
Right. Because you clearly have more money than all those guys.
All of those guys, we pay them.
They work for you.
They work for us. We cut the deals. Hey, rapper, you want to promote maximum things to destroy your own people? We'll give you $1 million. Oh, there you go. Go talk about selling drugs and things.
Well, speaking of that, Matthew just died. Was just arrested.
Did Vlad just move on? Like, he didn't just say, okay, wait, hold on. Okay, at that point, he just mentioned about, let me rewind. Let me make sure I have it.
Oh, there you go. Go talk about selling drugs and things.
Well, speaking of...
Boom. That's the first jam, right? So it's like he's referring to how, the music industry is, and it's like they speak about what they sell, etc., and it's not really doing good to the culture, right? The culture, not the culture of the system, but the culture of the being. So you as a person, you taking in what you're hearing is actually poisonous. And if it's speaking about drugs, etc., you'll be going down that path, that specific path, And he just dropped it in. I see what he's doing. So he's playing like this character in the sense of, a role of how, because there's this layer, there's that layer, and then there's like these layers down here, right? He's playing one of these characters. Now, these characters see what's actually going on within the layers here, right? So the rappers are, talking about this, talking about that, but they're not seeing how that is actually killing people, right? They're not seeing that. So because they're not seeing that, they're just seeing the money that they're getting in by the topics that they're talking about. So the different characters that he's playing are the ones that are actually in the system and are actually pushing ahead this agenda. Woo! Dude is a genius. Seriously, I don't, I don't think he gets enough credit. Seriously, that was mad. Okay, cool. Let's move on. Let's move on.
That Tekashi 69 was just arrested. Federal indictments actually. Well, I don't know if he's been indicted, but he's been arrested for federal racketeering and gun charges.
Good. Oh, I called the feds on him.
You're the one that called the feds on.
Yes.
So you have connections to the feds.
Yes, my great-grandfather started it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
People call me the feds.
No, you're not the feds, man. You're just a regular guy with beard. That takes advantage of people. They come over here and snitch on themselves.
But you're actually the feds.
I'm the feds.
You're the feds.
I'm part of the whole investigation. So what happened was, I seen a little racketeering thing, Rico thing going on, and I said, hey, Uncle Fed, because my uncle name is Fed. That's his real name. Fed, okay, Fed.
Uncle Fed.
Right, because back in the days they fed them children, but that's a whole other story, the adrenochrome market. But other than that, what happened was, said, hey, this is one rapper by the name of Tekashi 69. You listening to me, man? Are you listening? No. This is one rapper by the name of Tekashi 69.
He's great. That. Hold on, let me rewind because he's dropping. Hold on, we're going to 3.10 seconds. Okay.
Racketeer thing, Rico thing was going on, and I said, hey, Uncle Fed, because my uncle name is Fed. That's
Right.
his real name, Fed.
Fed.
Fed. Right, because back in the days they fed them children, but that's a whole other story, the adrenochrome market.
The
But other than
adrenochrome
that,
market.
what?
Ooh. So he just mentioned about what happens in when you go in deep, you get to understand that these people that are in power or claim that are in power or that feel like they use their power to upgrade us as humans, which they don't. They, what is it called again? Adrenaline or something. What did he say?
That's his real name, Fed. Okay, Fed.
Uncle Fed.
Right, because back in the days they fed them children, but that's a whole other story, the adrenochrome market. But
Adrenochrome. Adrenochrome. Okay. Oh wait, adrenochrome. Right. Okay, adrenochrome. Right. Let's quickly search up that adrenochrome. I'm continuously saying it so it can stay within your conscious, and so it can stay in mine too. What? The internet not working? Why you not working? Oh no, it's working all right. You know what? I just dare you to search it so you can see what pops up. I dare you to search it so you can see what pops up. Okay, this. Oh my God, he a genius, man. It makes so much. Tap into it in sense of character. Push out the truth. Show. Yo, this dude. Yo. Okay. So, oh, you know what? I'm finna just pop out of this. Okay. Wait, did I move on from that actual video? Yeah, I think I actually, okay, I'm gonna have to go back on the video. Hold on. I may have to actually rewind that. Oh, no, I didn't cut it off. It's still here. Okay, so what that basically is a chemical that you get from little kids. What they do is they terrify the kids and split them open in some form and drink their blood. And what that does is it keeps them younger. They live longer, and yeah, it's crazy. It's like, and it's a certain rush that you won't get in any other drugs. So they're not using a substance. They're using a human, in this case, children. I know, it's, I hear you, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy enough for you to not believe it. You know what I mean? That's how crazy it is. It's crazy enough for you to not believe it. But you can search it up yourself, and there's proof there, and then you can make your own assumptions and your own, decisions. Good luck.
Other than that, what happened was, say, now, this is one rapper by the name of Tekashi 69. You listening to me, man? Are you listening? No. This is one rapper by the name of Tekashi 69. Okay, listen to this last. Said, look, he owes the Care Bears a lot of money, right?
Care
And if
Bears.
he don't pay his debts, okay,
Yes,
Vlad, we're gonna get him on indictment charges, okay, right? So I called my other Fed, Fed called him and he got them all.
Got them all.
All of them, man.
They're all coming out.
All of them black. You should have seen the way they were running black. They were running all down the street and running like a bunch of black guys in one man. It was amazing, flag. It was amazing. I thought they was playing hide and go seek or something. It was like the guy with the yellow hair was hit. He was like chasing everybody with the feds. Got everybody with the feds. Oh. Have you had a cigarette?
No. Okay, so you called the feds on Tekashi and his crew.
It's amazing.
They all got indicted. Well, they all got arrested. I don't know if they got indicted yet. What's gonna happen to him?
He be out in a minute.
Yeah?
Yeah. We need people like him to continuously promote the things that can destroy the black culture. We need him, black. We need him.
Right, but he's Mexican.
I know. He's white.
He's white.
Mexicans are white.
They are?
Oh, you didn't know this, Vlad.
I did not know.
They're a product of us. See, our ancestors, Christopher Columbus and all the Spaniards and all of those are Europeans are white.
Right.
So what we did was we came down and we killed all the black people. We bred with the leftover ones, and we created Mexicans. They speak Spanish. Spanish is Latin. It's from Spain. Spain is white. They're white. He's white. Okay? One of us.
Okay.
Oh, I think all I'm gonna be doing is just laughing in this and educating, but dude is hilarious. I'm trying to keep it down too because it's like these people sleeping, you know what I mean? So I gotta keep it down. Okay. What did he mention there? Damn, I gotta go back. Dude, he's just too quick with it.
Bred with the leftover ones, and we created Mexicans. Christopher Columbus and all the Spaniards and all of those are Europeans. Are what that can destroy the black culture. We need him, black. We need him.
Right, but he's Mexican.
I know. He's white.
Well, they all got arrested. I don't know if they got indicted yet. What's gonna happen to him?
He be out in a minute.
Yeah?
Yeah. We need people like him to continuously promote the things that can destroy the black culture. We need him, black.
Right. Which is the same thing that I was mentioning earlier on that he had mentioned, all the materialistic, etc. And, 69, promoting violence, etc. So all these things to kill the black culture, etc., with the bloods, the guns and this and that. Because when you come into hip hop, you get to choose which aspects of category that you're gonna enter, So he's referring to that in a comedic way. Dude, it's great, man.
Right, but he's Mexican.
I know. He's white.
He's white.
Mexicans are white.
He's what?
They are?
Oh, you didn't know this, black.
I did not know that.
They're a product of us. See, our ancestors, Christopher Columbus and all the Spaniards and all of those are Europeans are white.
Right.
So what we did was we came down and we killed all the black people. We bred with the leftover ones, and we created Mexicans. They speak Spanish. Spanish is Latin.
So right now he's talking as Bradley, and apparently Bradley has a certain inheritance towards the bloodline of the specifics within what had gone down in the past. think that's the image that he's pushing out. So as he's saying that, he's basically saying, yeah, product, product of us, because I keep on switching the since he's Daylyt, product of us. So us as in a white person, but then it's like came to okay, to breed with the blacks, right? And then they came, right, okay, and then the sense of Mexicans, etc. Blah, 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 blah. Right, okay, cool. That's where he was coming from. I thought he was maybe referring to the extent of like, the originality is, the black person, because you can only get a white person from like you can get a white baby from two black people, like male and female, right? But you can't get a black baby from two white people. How interesting is that? You can get a black baby, no, a white baby, right? From two black people, right? That sounds pretty specific. So you can just get a black-skinned baby from the black race, right? But you cannot get, did I say that right? I don't think I said that right. You can get a white-skinned, right, a human from a black-skinned person, but you can't get a black-skinned baby from a white-skinned, person. So it's like that's a fact. Okay, it's a fact. So that basically means we all came from black people. In other words, we're all really black and we're all really African. That's it. Moving on.
It's from Spain. Spain is white. They're white. He's white. Vlad. One of us.
Okay. I'm noticing your arms are kind of tan. Okay. So, he's going to get out pretty soon, what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. You guys gonna let him out?
We're gonna let him out.
Why are you letting him out?
Because we let him in, bro.
Oh.
It's all a part of our ethics. Look, you know how we do it. Cause commotion, sell albums, album sale, put the frequency lower frequencies to destroy the minds of the youth. Vlad, you know how we do it, Vlad. We got the whole plan. You and I work together outside of this, Vlad. You know that. Vlad.
Okay.
So this is the interesting thing, right? He mentions about the extent of, the whole jail and the whole album selling, etc., etc. And we've seen that countless of times, Like, seriously. We've seen that countless of times. Like, this is an interesting thing, right? You remember when Tupac was accused for rape charges, etc., that he had to go to jail and this and that. He had to fight his case, that was just, like a straight up attack, I guess, because he was really not for, what is going on to the extent of it. So that's kind of like in a different category. That's kind of like more independence, right? And then XXX, Temptation. So when that was all happening, that's kind of like in the Tupac category, right? Because they were both like freedom fighters, right? And this is the interesting thing, because I recently watched a movie called American Satan, right? A good friend of mine, Luciano, had sent me a video, and it had referred to that. And I was like, whoa, this movie's crazy. Now, what that movie had to do was, it had something to do with the extent of how the devil comes at you, and offers you a deal in the extent of, music. It's crazy. It's mad, right? And in the movie itself, he, like, the person that's playing the devil mentions Jay-Z, Kanye West, but then it was all about this rock band, right? Now, in this rock band, they experienced the whole sense of, craziness and this and that, and there was this happening. And one of the things was the main the main singer actually got to go to jail, and it was all, like the aspect of frequencies. So how Bradley is mentioning the frequencies, Daylyt mentioning frequencies, and to take advantage of the minds that don't see what's actually going on, because really it should be the other way around. But the lower level aspect of it, the people that just see flesh and don't see spirit, will get clinged on, because that's the society that we live in, right? So it's all a part of the plan, and he's playing a role like he's a part of it because he knows how they work. So he's establishing it in a certain form, in a certain category, which I think is just great. Like, nobody else is doing this. That's the thing. Like, we're not talking about the things that we should talk about. I mean, the extent of it, who else? B.O.B., B.O.B. I can say B.O.B. Yeah, I can say B.O.B. But to the extent of, like, seriousness, it would have to be Daylyt and B.O.B. I can't think of anybody else right now. I should be able to think of 10 straight up. So everybody else is playing along in this game of the music industry. Slowly and slowly, like everything is just cool. Madness. We need to wake up, seriously. And he's killing it. He's killing it. For real. For real, for real. Like, for real, for real, for real, for real. Okay. And this is 5:42, right? Let's make it happen. Oh, we got this. We end this together, man. You know what I mean? That's how we do. That's how we do.
Let him.
Okay, smile. Yeah, see.
You brought him in, so you're gonna get him out. And I guess his manager, he signed to like the son of the Universal president or something like this. It's all.
Yes, it's all in cahoots. We own Universal, we own Feds, we own the prison systems, we own the NBA, we own NFL, we own everything, Vlad, and it's all one big circle to distract people from the simple fact that we're destroying these niggas, all of them. Oh, we got them. Oh, amazing.
Well, Takashi fired his whole man.
He said amazing. Oh, we got him. Amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we got them. Oh, amazing.
Amazing. No, he's having too much fun. The distraction, these events that they throw out, is to distract us from the fact that they're killing us. Right? And it could be all population, because a lot of people that listen to hip hop, it's really all, races. So it's like, you're a part of it too. Everybody's a part of it. It's so crazy. You just have to see it and wake up from it, or else they'll exploit you. They'll take advantage of your being. Your being is the spiritual side of you. Craziness. I'm loving this though. This is just part one.
Well, Takashi fired his whole management team at one time.
You signed a blood contract. You don't fire people. We fire you.
Because he's a blood.
Yes.
That's the type of contract he signed.
Mexican blood.
Mexican blood.
He has white blood inside his Mexican blood.
Okay.
Look.
So even though he said he fired everybody, he didn't really fire anybody.
Why is he whispering?
It was a blood contract. So how do you get out of a blood contract?
You don't.
Yeah.
Ain't no blood.
Okay. Right, because at one point Takashi said, fuck Treyway. I just posted that video up.
Listen here, Vlad. Let me tell you.
Okay, so right there, it seems like he's playing on the fact that he was lying because he's in the blood, like he's in the gang. So it's like, what you mean you can't fire your gang? You can't. Like, what you mean? Like, everything is. He's trying to say there's a whole nother situation and layer going on right now that we may not be seeing, and this is just all a play. I think that's what he's trying to come across, but that may be the push of his character, because you already know though, isn't it? Like, but it might be true. You can't rule nothing out. So I see the angle that he's going with it.
Right. You have to understand something about Takashi 69. He, in itself, is a universal law of the world, right? His gang is Treyway. I want you to think about this way. His gang is Treyway, which symbolizes the number 3. And then his name is 69. 369. Do you know what the number 369 means, Vlad? It is a universal number. He signed the universe. I want you to think about this. He's a magical person in this world. And we're going to use his magic to destroy the youth like we've been doing, Vlad. He's special. He's a special type of Mexican white person. And I love him.
Right, because Lil Jon and that.
Damn. Now, I do remember the extent of what is the importance of that. I do remember Tesla saying something to the extent of that. Because all of this is numerology and everything is energy. Like numbers are actually living things. That vibrate. So because I do remember, wow, okay, ooh, whoa, let's replay that back. That was, dude.
Symbolizes the number 3.
Do y'all, you, by now, I hope that you're out of the mindset of, what is he doing? Why is he dressed like this? Like, I hope by now that's gone, because I've seen other reactions and there's not really anybody that's going in depth in the way that I am, because I'm seeing it. But there's people in the comments that's also seeing what I'm seeing. So there just hasn't been anybody that has spoken about the factor of how he's speaking about things in this form. So for the people that, may have had the approach of, what is he talking about? He looks dumb, he looks stupid, etc., and all that. Stop the judgment and see the truth. Go past the flesh. Hear the sound. Just hear the sound waves of what he's saying. Okay? This is 6:47.
So how do you get out of a blood contract?
You don't.
Death.
Ain't no blood.
Okay. Right, because at one point Tekashi said, fuck Treyway. We just posted that video up.
Listen here, Vlad. Let me tell you something. Right? You have to understand something about Takashi 69. He, in itself, is a universal